I've really been disappointed with the quality and the price. No matter what city I go to, it seems to be all the norm. These prices are going up. It's double what I got it for last harvest. This is $7. The quality is really not that good. We'll compare it to our aquaponics system, but yeah. Way too much if you ask me. Almost $6 for onions. And yeah, this stuff is not good quality. A lot of it looks dead. Cilantro, $6 for a cup like this. I'm telling you what, guys, food prices are going up. Pretty much the same prices here at Walmart. Quality actually here is a little better, but still not all that great. So here is our aquaponics lettuce. As you can see, this is romaine. I mean, it's great, it's strong. Like, you can feel how healthy and strong it is. We have some mixed greens right here. As you can see, we have some of that violet in there, really nice. I mean, our lettuce, which we grew from seed, is kicking ass. It's so much healthier than the stuff you're seeing in the stores. And so, yeah, $6. Here are transplants. $6 for something like this. It's ridiculous, because it came with 4 plants. There is 4 plants in here. So the fact that this is worth $6 on the market right now just shows you how bad our food situation actually is. Down in our second grow bed, as you saw, we did a complete cut of our mint, and it's already growing back. This is just a couple days. So within a couple days, it's already growing back. Our celery is doing great. Bok choy doing wonderful. The last seeds that we transplanted, they're all growing very well. Our green onion is unstoppable. We are 100% independent of the system for green onion. I mean, we're cutting twice a week now. Not once a week, we're cutting twice a week. So, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. These were just put in yesterday. So they are completely taken off, kicking ass. Our onion, we planted, like I said, just a couple days ago. As you can see right here, we're already taken off. It's already taken off. And even right here, you can see our transplant is starting to come through. So it's starting to grow through. And at the bottom, you can already see that we have root system. And obviously we can't forget about the basil. I've been transplanting the basil along the backside here, and everything is just taken off. Welcome back. So I think this is a great question, because I get this question a lot. And I know other people out there, if you've been prepping in any capacity in which you're producing your own food, or if you've tried to garden in the past, I'm sure you've experienced this. And if you're established, I'm sure people have asked you. There's so many times I get comments on YouTube about, it's just too expensive to grow your own food. It's way more expensive to grow it. And things like that, just how expensive, especially the startup costs are for gardening. And the truth is, they're absolutely correct. The startup costs are dramatic. They're expensive, even when you're talking, and we're not just talking about gardening, just talk about homesteading in general. If you were to go out and you try to piecemeal a homestead together, you're going to easily spend tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars if you're wanting to get everything done in any kind of quick format. Chickens are not cheap to raise. Quail are not cheap to raise. Livestock are not cheap to raise. Even rabbits, I think rabbits are the most cost-effective animal to raise. And the startup costs on them, if you go out and buy cages and do everything, it's a pretty penny. So I totally understand the sentiment, and unfortunately, I mean, in most aspects of gardening, for example, here, the Myrtle Woods Homestead, we are priced out of the market. Currently I am priced out of fruit trees, bushes, soil amendments, I'm currently priced out of that market. I can't justify spending $30 on a withering blueberry plant at Lowe's, nor can I justify spending $20 for a bag of soil. So, being that this is the reality that we currently find ourselves in, I think the question and the wariness of wanting to get into gardening, I think that's huge, and I think that's another reason why people are being pushed, especially more now than ever, into this you know stockpile and hoarding mentality, because gardening is tough. Backyard chickens and livestock, they're tough. And if it's going to be so expensive and I'm not going to be able to do it in a cost effective way, then what's the point of even trying? And truth be told, you're absolutely right. Again, you're 100% honest critiques, and they're good. They're good questions, and the cost benefit analysis is something that everybody has to look at. And so I can't fault anybody for looking at the science, looking at the data, looking at the math, and coming to the logical conclusion that it's not worth it. With that being said, my gardening hasn't stopped. In fact, with the rising prices, my gardening has taken off exponentially. I am finding that majority of my time right now has been going into my garden food systems. And notice how I said food systems, because implementing food systems is how we're going to not only get through this, but actually get to that point where we're doing things efficiently, solution-based, and sustainably. And that's something that the preparedness community doesn't talk about. There's a lot of channels on gardening. They're out there, they exist, but there's not a lot of commentary on intentional food systems, and that's just because most people don't know what that is. So they don't talk about it because they're really unaware of the subject matter themselves. Now, there are a lot of great communities out there. There are intentional food system communities out there. And a lot of these people are not preppers. They do not engage in the preparedness community. They worry about sustainable living, etc., but they rarely overlap with the preparedness community as a whole, which I think is unfortunate. But again, I understand why people don't want to be in the preparedness community either. So I completely, I think that that consideration is important, and I don't blame them. With that being said, I think it's important that we look at these food systems intelligently. And for me, that has always been my focus when it comes to my gardening. And I, again, like I mentioned before, I am lucky to have grown up in the permaculture lifestyle, being introduced to it by my great-grandparents and my grandparents, who were master gardeners and were able to do so many great things with intentional food systems. So it's not the first time that I've seen it. In fact, I have, as you guys have seen other videos, I have plants and seeds that come from my great-grandparents, their gardens and their sustainable food forest that they had. And so I think that it's very important that we expand upon this, because as you're going to see on this channel, we're going to start talking about intentional designs and food systems. And the reason why this is so important is because I'm gardening more than I've ever gardened before, and I'm doing it sustainably, and I'm doing it essentially for free. There are ways to do this without breaking the bank, but we have to change how we look at gardening. We can't look at gardening from a traditional Western lens, right? We have to look at it from an intentional food system, as an intentional food system in which one thing impacts the other. And so that's what we're going to talk about. And so for here on our homestead, we have rabbits, right? Rabbits are great because they eat grass, they eat pasture, they eat weeds, they eat everything that they need to be sustainable is here, right? And a lot of the weeds and a lot of the stuff they eat, my livestock will graze over or are not really interested in. So I can take those portions of our food system, intentional food system, I can feed it to our rabbits. What do our rabbits do? Rabbits produce waste. That waste is a coal manure that I can put directly on our plants. We have wooded area all over the place, right? We constantly have brush. I take that brush, I burn it. We have campfires, what have you. That brush, when it's burnt down, produces wood ash. Wood ash, again, is another implement that I can take as a soil amendment, cold fertilizer, put it directly on my plants, or put it directly in soil to rejuvenate the southern clay that's here. Furthermore, right, things are expensive. Potting plants are expensive. The pots that the plants go in are expensive. So I can spend money on that, or I can use everyday waste that people think are waste. Coke bottles, right? Lemonade bottles, all these plastics that we use in the modern day age, I can take those and I can repurpose them. I have an aquaponic system that produces dirty water. That water is now then used to water plants. It's used in the aquaponic system to produce more food. We have a bug zapper. That bug zapper zaps a lot of bugs. It has a little holding place, a little holding cartridge, or whatever you want to call it. I take that, instead of just dumping it out, give it right back to the aquaponic fish for them to eat. The tilapia love it. We drink coffee here. So what happens whenever I drink coffee? Well, the coffee grounds have to go somewhere. I don't throw it away. Again, another cold fertilizer or soil amendment. So how you look at your food system and how you interact with that food system is going to have a dramatic play on what you're able to do, right? Everything here has a purpose, multiple purposes, and they all interact with each other, right? Our rabbits it's a great example. Even if you don't want to eat rabbit meat, even if they're not going to be food, the fertilizer they produce is worth its weight in gold. And so when I look at gardening, I don't just see a garden. I see intentional food systems that have impacts on everything. Everything is impacted by something else. And when you finally understand that and realize that, and you can incorporate that food system design that, works well with your, situation, the possibilities that you're going to find yourself are going to be so dramatic and so important and so eye-opening. So again, everybody's situation can be different, but I encourage you guys to start looking at this not from a gardening perspective, but from an intentional food system perspective. Again, there's so many ways you can garden. There's so many ways you can continue to grow food sustainably and efficiently for your family without breaking the bank, without spending any money. And so there's lots of different solutions out there, and I highly encourage you guys to take a look at those. And here on this channel, we're going to start breaking down different concepts in ways that you can garden, and you can do so free. So there you have it. Hope this video was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Tell us what you're doing. I'm really interested in seeing what your guys' progress and journey and what that's looking like. I think that's super important. So if you have some feedback for us, love to see it in the comment section below. Well, I hope this was helpful for you guys. As always, guys, long live the Republic.